Hi everyone, I'm Josh Miller and welcome to my YouTube channel. Because style is my favorite subject, today I want to talk about the new Charli XCX single Rock Music and what my initial thoughts on it were. I also want to talk about what I think about it now that I've had a little bit more time to sit with it and what I think it means for Charli XCX at this point in her career. So without further ado, let's get into it. Going into this song, I definitely had a lot of high hopes for Charli XCX in this new era, and I get the sense that she knew that about her audience as well. While a lot of artists have the option to either acknowledge or not acknowledge their previous album when kicking off the next one, I feel like Charli XCX, because of Brat's Summer, didn't really have this option. But regardless of what she did, Charli XCX would need to be super cautious about what she did just because of how much pressure and how many eyes are on her. If she strays too close to doing something like Brat, she risks hurting the legitimacy of Brat by no longer making it seem as special. But on the other hand, if she pivots too far away from the sound and aesthetic of Brat, she risks losing her audience's attention, especially her newer audience's attention, which could lead to her being known as a one-hit wonder. Because of this, when preparing for this release, I personally thought that Charli XCX was going to do one of two things. The first thing that I predicted that she would do is create almost a Brat 2 kind of album that satirizes audiences' expectations while protecting her credibility as an artist by beating the audience to the punchline, which, spoiler alert, is a major premise of her mockumentary The Moment. And the second thing I figured that she might do is do a complete 180 and intentionally reject the consumer's expectations that are going to be placed upon her. And from just the title of this song being rock music alone, we can definitely assume that she's chosen the latter. Moving on to my initial thoughts, when the song first began, I was met with this large feeling of confusion because I couldn't figure out whether or not she was joking or not. The vocal delivery of the first verse feels like something straight out of a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared skit, and the skipping of the auto-tuned voice during the rock music part just only furthered my confusion. However, I did really enjoy the music video on my first listen through. There's something really rebellious about how simple it feels considering how many resources Charli XCX likely had access to when she was going into shooting this video. And I wouldn't be the fashion school valedictorian without praising the looks that she gave inside this music video. The minimal makeup style is slowly becoming her signature look, and it just looks so beautiful on her, and especially in the close-up shots of this music video, she just has such a way with the camera that maintains your attention by seamlessly switching from making you feel like you're right there with her to then all of a sudden doing a 180 and making you feel like you are chasing her and trying to catch up to her. And I just really love this outfit. It's very badass in a Beatles kind of a Hard Day's Night kind of way. Like, it's very 50s, it's rebellious, it's punk, and I just love the black and white finish, and she just looks so good here. But my favorite look by far has to be the one where she's in the cab wearing a neck brace. Like, I just find it so funny. And I didn't realize until I read the lyrics to this song that before she gets into the cab, she's literally singing about hurting her neck from banging her head too much because that's the only way that she can feel something. And considering the fact that she literally debuted with the line, I crashed my car into a bridge, I don't care, I love it, it's no surprise that this aesthetic and this way of communicating is something that just comes so naturally to her. So coming away from my first listen, I was very confused, but I was also intrigued, which sent me digging onto the internet to try and understand what it was that I had just listened to, because while this song was really short, there definitely was a lot for me to study, and I really enjoyed getting to do so. The first thing I saw online that impacted the way that I think about this song is this one TikTok where they were comparing the rock music video to Sam Button from The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that's where I feel like the song really started to click for me. Like, it's the kind of song that you listen to while pulling out of the high school parking lot on the last day of school of your senior year, and just that feeling of triumph and freedom without any sort of caution is something that this song really invokes, and I feel like that was a really strong comparison. Lyrically, she does this on the chorus by stating, I think the dance floor is dead, so now we're making rock music, which I feel like there's a lot of interpretations of, which I'd really enjoy discussing. The first is the literal interpretation that the dance floor is dead, meaning that the people just don't want to listen to dance music anymore. And whether this is because she had the crowd dancing to her music so hard that they're just kind of tired of dance music, or that she doesn't really think that dance music is where culture is heading at large, which we'll touch on later. Here, Charli XCX is interpreting the dance floor as not alive anymore and proposes turning to rock music as a potential solution to this problem. And the second and a little bit more interesting interpretation of this line is that maybe to Charli XCX, the dance floor isn't actually dead, it's not really interesting to her anymore, and she's looking for something new. Charli has always been the kind of person that likes to be 10 steps ahead of culture, so it makes sense that once Brat's Summer happened and she was finally in the zeitgeist, that she might want to reject it by doing something that represents where she thinks that culture is going. History does tend to repeat itself, and rock music, at least in my opinion, seemed to have a really big cultural push inside the 2000s. It really makes sense that given the fact that we're in a neo-90s era right now, that rock music could come in style again, and given the fact that Charli XCX always wants to be ahead of the curve, it doesn't really surprise me that rock music is something that she wants to try, whether or not it's ironic or a literal attempt at doing so. And I just find her entire vocal delivery across this song to be so engaging. Like, she's just delivering every single line with that signature wink that says, I know where we're going, but you don't, but do you still want to come with me anyway? Which is especially really compelling considering the fact that she's moving into a different sonic direction, and just this music video and this song reminds me a lot of Vroom Vroom, especially in that specific way. And to me, the highlight of this song has to be the second verse, and like my English teacher Mrs. Carhart always said, poetry is best read aloud, which is why I want to read this verse to you. Wow, I'm really banging my head, I'm really hurting my neck, the nerve damage is real, but it's the only way to feel something. Hurt yourself, yeah, maybe jump off the stage. I hope they catch you today, but if they don't, it's okay. I really appreciate the blissful coming of age, triumphant feeling that you get inside the first half of this verse, and again, it just really reminds me of the tunnel scene from The Perks of Being a Wallflower. But what I find to be the most interesting is that second half, because she's suggesting something really important about how Charli XCX sees the role of being a performer in society. By flirting with the idea of the listener, likely a performer or artist as well, jumping off the stage hoping to get caught, she's saying that to bring the crowd to life in absence of a dead dance floor, one must trust that the audience is going to catch you. And given the fact that she's taking a really big risk with this new direction in her career, it makes a lot of sense that this is something that she would feel and that this is something that she would value in being an artist. Because she's doing something that's really different and is hoping that the audience is going to trust her, and I just find that to be really brave and respectful, and I like that she's not beating around the bush here and she's directly calling the risk what it is. And it's this honesty and Charli XCX's music that's why I connected with it so much when I discovered it in college. It really helped me grow as a person and as a creative for that reason, and I just love how even though she's moving into a different era, she's not letting go of that authenticity. And just looking at rock music from afar, the song, it's funny, it's layered, but most of all, what I love the most about it is how thought-provoking it is. Like, it's the kind of art that really does bring people together in our attempt to try and understand what it is she's saying and to catch up with where it is she's creating from, which again, I feel like is something that Charli XCX just knows how to do time and time again, and I'm really glad to see that show up in this song. And with all of this, I just really hope that Charli XCX keeps heading in this direction, because if history repeats itself, like I said, we're probably going to see a revival of rock music in the next 10 or so years, and I definitely want Charli XCX to be at the forefront of that, just because I think her artistic voice and perspective are so valuable in breeding innovation in pop music, which again is why I'm really excited to see her dabbing in this new style and this new aesthetic as an artist, and not just giving us something that we've already seen before, because when we listen to a Charli XCX song, we want something that's cool, but we also want something that's ahead of what we're used to because it challenges us as the audience. And Charli XCX has always been this trendsetter, and if she sees that something is going to be in style, I have no doubt that she's going to be tuned into this when she approaches what she does next, and I'm really excited to see what she does because of this. But what about you? Did you like the new Charli XCX song, Rock Music? Make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Again, I'm really just excited to hear what people think about this song, because it is really perplexing, and it's just one of those songs that from what I can see has a lot of people really confused and has a lot of people really excited, and regardless of where you sit, I do think that this song is valuable because of that discrepancy between how the audiences have been receiving it. Like, it's the kind of art that pushes you to think about not just the work, but how you think about work in general, and I find that to be really exciting, and it's just one of those things that I feel like is gonna make clearer sense 3 years from now, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try and figure it out today. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. I'm trying to get in the habit of posting YouTube videos like this one more regularly, so any help that you can give me, I'd really appreciate. And if there's also any videos or any content or any suggestions that you have for me, make sure to let me know, because I definitely take them all to heart when planning what it is I want to do each and every week. But until then, make sure to have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, so we're just gonna do this. This is weird. This is my first time ever using a teleprompter. This feels just so, like, so strange. But anyway, let's do it. Hi everyone!